Okay, we're going to look at creating shapes from our selection tools inside of Photoshop. The very first one that I'll look at is the elliptical marquee tool selection. And we'll get another shape that looks like this from our rectangular marquees tool selection. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and create myself a new layer, hide that one. And I'll come over here to my elliptical selection tool, marquee tools, and I press M to get to both of these here. And basically I'm left clicking with my mouse and dragging across my canvas and then release with my mouse, and I basically have created my selection in this case. Now I can use Control D to deselect that selection, or I can simply double click someplace outside of this selection here and deselect that selection like so. And I can use some of these options that are populated here at the very top of my toolbar that occur whenever I select any of these tools in Photoshop. So I'll create the basically just the new selection icon, click and drag here, and I can make this skinny or a little bit fatter selection. I can also use my space bar to move this selection around in my canvas. So I'll delete that, release my mouse, and I'll click over here and I've got a subtract from selection. So I'll select that and draw another selection around like so, release, and I can see how that I've subtracted from where I've created that selection. Now I just want to fill that in with a color, so I'll go to Edit Fill or Shift F5 and I'll select black and select OK. And essentially I have this one shape that's created from my selection. Press Control D to deselect and press V to move that selection, and I essentially have that very first shape. Another way we can go about it is essentially our last shape we're going to look at is using the rectangular marquee tool selection, and I can decrease that and basically create a base here to work with. And then I create a add to selection. So I'm doing the opposite here, and I'm just adding to that selection, drawing a little cityscape here. I can also use this to subtract to selection. So I can subtract a little there. And at the final end, edit fill with black, and I have just a little mini landscape there to work with. So essentially just using these two selection tools and some of the union tools up here, I can create some interesting shapes from selections.